here's our recap of the MUNSU Student Union elections. Whoa! Hey Anik, how you doing, man?
Not bad. How are you guys?
Good, thanks for coming on the radio. That was a little intense.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure to be here today.
Thank you for coming out.
No, congratulations, first and foremost. That's the most important thing.
Thanks a lot, too.
Yeah, congratulations. I can't be more happy to pass down the torch to the next incoming directors at large. We're having you on here today to start off our talks about campaigning and what it means to campaign and be involved with the student union. So can you tell us the role that you are playing currently with your undergraduate student union?
Okay, so currently I'm the international students rep for MUNSU Student Union. So as an international student rep, I had to deal with 1,500 students from 90 different countries. So it's a lot diverse. I think Memorial is the most diverse environment in St. John's or within the province. So
definitely.
Everybody has like different views, different opinions, and like I have learned already a lot from just to talk with bunch of people from different parts of the world and their issues that sometimes I had to brought to the board or go to the executives to talk about, and it's very challenging to be here, and it's a great learning experience for myself because when I was in high school I was involved with our student council, but later on when I moved to Canada it's completely different environment for myself. It's been only 2 years I'm here from the eastern part to the western world, so it's kind of a lot of change, but thank God I survived and kind of trying to help others. So
yeah, I've always thought I mean, it's interesting when I think about the international representative and the position itself, because if we were going in the States, then maybe I would be serving on the International Students Committee. You know, you're literally embodying the interests of so many different people. I would think it would be overwhelming, to say the least. Yeah. So how did you Anik, as a lot of us might know, actually was the front runner for the director at large position.
Got the most votes.
Got close to 4 digits. Congratulations for that.
Thanks, guys.
Could you share a little bit about your campaigning experience?
What made your campaign special, Anik? Why is it you that got the most votes? Why did you do this?
I don't know. I'm currently in work term, so I work from 8 to 5. During the campaign, I worked from 8 to 5 both of the days. So I didn't get the opportunity to come to the UC or like to go to the library to talk with people. I was working. I asked for a sick day or like a day off from my boss, but he didn't allow me to take a day off. So
no love.
I didn't have that opportunity to do the campaign a whole lot. But since I moved here in Canada, from my very first day, I remember I started volunteering and get involved with the community and trying to like help people with whatever help they need. And I had previously held position in different student ISWAP or MUSWAP, and then volunteer bureau, MUNSU, and residence. So like all the time that I have, I think I have spent with Memorial. So this is like my home.
It's almost
away
like
from home. So I worked with so many people with so many different times and like so many different situations, and I think I met a bunch of like a lot of people, and they remember my work. I think in politics, in student politics, in election, the most important part is like how much they trust you. And they will trust you based on your work. And I think I've worked for a while, and
so there was a level
they trust me, and that's why I got the vote. I think without doing a lot of campaign, all I did is like put the posters and that's it, and give a heads up to all the people I know, like, guys, I'm running, and this is it.
It seems like kind of some of the authenticity with it comes from like the work that you do throughout the year. It's not just
it's not just the campaign week.
Yeah, it's like you
like myself.
Down your seeds long before the election. I mean, from the sounds of things and the amount of work you do during the week.
Even Chris,
pretty much had it long before it even started.
Chris, it was difficult for me because I ran in the by-election, so which was like 4 months back, and that's when I went to my people, and in that time I did really like had a hard campaign.
The first
campaign, I made a video. I talked with a lot of people. I was like campaigning 48 hours straight, but this time I didn't have that opportunity, and also like I went and asked for votes 4 months ahead, so this time it was kind of difficult for me to go again and ask for vote. So I didn't do a lot. I didn't expect that I'll get that much response from the Memorial community, but I'm very proud that they made a better choice, I think.
So Anik, let's talk now. We've talked about pre-campaign and during the campaign. So starting May 1st, what are some of your biggest plans? What are some of the biggest things you want to do as director at large?
I think I put at the top is the student participation, because I don't want our student, when they will run for election next year, to hear to being asked the question like, what is MUNSU?
Yeah.
I think we need to do presentation, not in the high school regarding what is MUNSU, but in our university, like what we do, rather than like our different services in general. I've been asked that question probably 20 or 30 times, the same question, what is MUNSU? They pay money, but they don't know what it is. But this is very unfortunate when you do and go out for campaign and you get...
So how did you know what MUNSU was?
When I first came in, I had to come here for my medical insurance, and that's when I found out what is MUNSU. And
so
since then,
they got you young.
And the first day, yeah.
No, one thing with student participation, one thing I really liked, now that the election's over, I can say it, one thing I really liked Maggie said during the executive forum was, why are these events only happening once a year during the MUNSU elections? Why aren't these happening every month? I mean,
exactly.
If you had that happening in the attic, people walking by once or twice a month, then people are going to stop and they're going to say, what's on the go? Even if it's just the executive all giving a little, this is what we've been doing over the last month. And so I'd like to see something like that, I think.
Even, I think, in my opinion, in our MUNSU meeting, our executives, they present their report. I guess we can do it like in more publicly, in like in loft or like in a UC, just like in a monthly wise, where executives will give it like in front of the public. I know like publics are allowed in our council chambers, but we don't get that much response there. So we better like change the location for a while, not for our meeting, but for when they produce the report.
Definitely. I
think that's a good idea. They'll had the idea, like students will know when they'll pass by that what's going on there, should drop by and listen. I think it's a good idea.
So you picked, just to take one step back a little bit, so you chose to pursue director at large over what do you study? Sorry.
I study engineering.
So you didn't want to be an engineering rep. You didn't want to be international again. You didn't want to be any of the constituency reps.
Yeah. The reason why I didn't choose engineering rep, because I'm still involved with a lot of engineering society within. So I know what are the concern and like what are the issues that they want to brought up. So being in director at large, I can address that. I can also address the issue that international students needs. So I can work both of the things by being in one position. So why not do that opportunity,
Definitely.
right? So that's why I take that opportunity and thought like I should definitely go for director at large. I don't have, like being an engineering, we're not allowed to work full time, so I can't run for bigger positions, but this is what I can do.
Yeah, so what is a director at large to you? Obviously you have some things that you want to hit home, like student participation and all this stuff, but what is the job of any director at large? And what do you think, because I've been a director at large for the last 2 years, so what do you think my job is, or now until the end of my term as the outgoing, or what do you think the job is of the director at large?
That was actually my question to you. I was going to ask you that question, but what I think is broaden the workspace for me, because I told you like I was working with 1,500 students, now I have to work with 13,000 students.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I literally I have to completely, I think I have to broaden my objectives and my workspace and the amount of people I work with, and this big responsibility, and I can feel the weight.
Yeah,
so
well, one thing that I remember feeling with director at large is first, and as you say, with 13,000 people, there is 5 directors at large, so that can there's very much a team spirit that you can manifest with the directors at large, and I felt it a lot the last 2 years. The groups of people I've served as director at large have been really good. The other thing with director at large is you're kind of embodying the interests of, for example, the positions that went vacant. Education reps are now vacant. So there's nobody representing education students anymore. So
yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for us to take work for those vacant positions to kind of represent them as nobody.
Yeah, I would encourage that.
Yeah, what you'd almost want to do is if you reach out to these groups whose positions are empty, then I mean, you're getting them engaged early, and then you might have a couple great people who you know and you've gotten them interested, and then in the fall when the by-elections come around, you might have a great rapport already with some people, and get a few more good bodies on the board.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to see that.
And I think being in director at large, another thing is like, you're not a rep for a particular thing, and you're also not an executive. So you're like kind of a middleman between those two. So kind of being the communicator for like executives and for the reps.
So what committees interest you the most?
I think clubs and societies and our finance. I think those are the two I'll go.
Good. Those are the ones that I've been keeping
awesome.
my sights on as well.
Those are my interest as well.
Because I've been involved in a lot of clubs and societies at MUN, and I really want to work for them. And finance committee, I study engineering, so I want to learn more about how the money works and how we manage all the stuff. So definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good enough to work for what you want to work for, but you got to understand where the money's coming from too.
Yeah.
So now I wanted to ask, what are you most looking forward to? I mean, a couple things, one thing, but what are you really most looking forward to next year?
Unified MUNSU.
Yeah.
A place where a student will be comfortable to go in, and will be know like, this is my place. This is where I belong to. This is where I'll go, and like an open space for everybody to welcome them, like so that they feel like it's home. So they come to us with us in our meeting and hang out with us and like talk to us, like just be friendly, just like we are having our conversation. That's it. That's what I want them to be comfortable with us.
Definitely.
To come to us and talk to us and all the stuff.
And so more broadly, what is the ideal picture? Like if Anik, if you have it every way you wanted it, if you had it exactly the way you wanted it, what would it be like? What would it feel like? What would the activity be like?
I'll say like it's really difficult, like when you had to negotiate, like I know like it's kind of like a top part of our job when you had to negotiate with all the other directors. Kind of sometimes it's difficult to make them believe what you believe in, or like, you know, or make yourself believe what they believe in. So I would try to like reduce that, but that's not possible. That's how people work. Everybody has to respect others' opinions, and that's how it will work. But one thing I don't want to see same old MUNSU. Like we already have seen the change. Like the voter turnouts for this year has been great. Like I think 10-15% voted, maybe
better than 6.
Better
anyway.
than yeah. So I think we had a good start. We had to continue with it.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. So I think all the other candidates, like you guys, we all I think did a great like campaign. Like we attracted people's attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why they voted, because of we all like had a great like promotion. If MUNSU can continue such promotion that all the people who ran did, I think we'll get more response from the student body.
Definitely.
We already proved that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that everybody who campaigned, everybody who had to run an election. Well, there were some that ran in the election that didn't campaign, but everybody who campaigned, I think, did it. I think they did it really well. I think they did it really visibly. I mean, the problem wasn't necessarily the quality of the campaigns; it was the quantity of them, because there were so many acclaimed positions. So I think we should.
I think that's another thing
that.
I don't want to see next year when the general election came in, or the by-election. Like I don't want to see acclaimed candidates.
Well, almost the entire
Nobody
board was
wants
acclaimed.
it. No,
I mean,
yeah,
there was what
it is,
five
true.
board elections, 5
Yeah.
lower board elections,
Less than 10.
And there's one. I think it's lack of promotion will be the issue for me.
Yeah.
I'll say lack of promotion. Like
And
when I was-
approach, yeah.
When I was in, when I went to pick my mail for my residence, and the posters for the nomination, like that's promotional posters that came in on before the last day, which should have come before like 1 month.
Yeah.
So I guess those are the things. Like I saw all the MUNSU promotion poster like just 1 week before. Like student needs to think. They need time to think like when they should run,
Plan their
whether
stuff
they should
and learn
run
about
or
and
they
get
should,
informed and stuff.
We need to make videos for like run for election. We need to like make information session. We need to give presentation away, like what you can do being a representative for your. I know like people had like in our engineering society, people had like. People are like crazy to be the president or vice president or the social rep for the society.
Yeah.
That same applies for all the other society, like biochem society, for the computer science society. People want to run for them, but people don't want to run for the student union, which is a bigger position.
Yeah.
So that one thing I think is kind of a challenge. But if we can like involve the people in those clubs and societies to MUNSU more and more engaged, I think then they will be encouraged to run for the MUNSU rep, as well as they'll continue to work with their respective societies.
Yeah, definitely.
I have one question that came to mind. If you,
I don't have anything just yet.
so this one, Anik, you haven't heard this question before. It's kind of like a philosophical question. But
Right.
if you could say if I told you that every student at MUN was listening to you right now, that every single undergrad who is paying money to this university was listening to you, and you could say a sentence or a paragraph, or you were able to say one thing, or maybe even ask a question, or what would you say if you knew that every single person in this university was listening?
I'll say, thank you, Memorial.
Right, there we go.
It's a wonderful opportunity. I think being here, I feel it's home. It's really difficult for me being an international. Like, I had to stay away from my home, my family for like years.
Where
go
is
home.
it that you're from?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Okay.
So, like, in my last vacation, I went home last August. Due to my work and my intense amount of volunteering, I couldn't stay long. I was in home for like a week, where I pay like $2,000 for just my flight.
Yeah.
So even though like I really miss my family and home and all my friends, like when I first came here, I don't have any friends. I don't have nobody. Like I don't know anybody.
Free agent.
Right? So I had to make so many friends and met so many people that I ended up getting like 965 vote. Like I was so I was so emotional. Like I straight went home and I was just spent a bunch of time, like a couple of hours just with me and just thinking like and feeling so grateful to all the people in Memorial that they trusted me, and I promise that I'll put my best, and I work hard like 18 hours a day, and I'll continue doing it no matter what.
Good. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
That's great. We were actually, the two of us and a few others, we were saying all week, you know, Anik, in this race, Anik is going to get the most votes, and really Anik might just get more votes than anybody. So, and you pretty much almost did.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you should be proud of yourself. It's really good.
Yeah, it was excellent.
So what we'll probably do, Anik, is we're going to let you go now, because we're going to probably maybe vent a little bit, get some stuff off our chest. We wouldn't want you to be involved in all that. But thank you very, very much for coming
guys.
on.
Anytime is
came on the show.
my very much pleasure.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. And
It's the first time I'm in CHMR and talking. And
So there might be plenty more to come.
oh yeah, hopefully.
absolutely. Well,
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks
And thank
very
you
much.
everybody for listening.